finally I have a little divot in front of the camera so I can do this. Ah, VSC. VSC.
Welcome to the most dangerous show of the week. Almost tripped. Brings back old memories.
I stepped on the power cord and the thing was sticking out of it, and I'm like, that's not level ground. Hello and welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The VSC edition.
See, you got it right this time.
Yeah.
There's times you just like barrel into that and I'm like, ah! Because I'm a creature of habit. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I am the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber. In slightly overcast, but hopefully going to be warm today, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
What do you think? Is it going to be warm today?
It's going to be about 10 degrees cooler than yesterday.
No, it was so nice yesterday.
I mean, they're like, it could warm up even more, but, you know, maybe mid-60s, I think.
That's still warmer than I would like to think about it being in the very beginning of March, so I'll take it.
Tomorrow's going to be rain, so.
Debbie Downer. No, I'm kidding. Rain happens here a lot. So,
rainforest.
Yeah. Oh, look. I'm looking at how this is kind of you can kind of tell it's a different dialogue.
Yeah.
Kind of. Maybe not. Maybe my eyes are fooling me.
No, it's just a subtle, like I can see just a
but
subtle
it's a different dialogue,
yeah.
right? That dialogues are a thing. They really are. And some yarns they can control, like batch to batch and like machine dyed stuff, and it can look really, really similar, and sometimes there's a marked difference. So even I have the story of even sorry, I'm squirreling here for a second. Shocker. Even the Karen no pound of yarn no dye lot blah blah blah. Back in my early days of knitting, I decided to make a blanket that I didn't know until it came off the needles. It was twice as wide as I thought it was going to be. That's a thing called gauge that I hadn't learned about yet. But I ended up using 4 of those pounds. 4. Because I misguessed what I was making. And I cast on too many stitches. And the 4th skein, I had to go back to the store like a year or 2 later. I was not a fast knitter. And it's not a competition.
And it's a blanket. They always take forever.
Yeah, forever. Especially knit. And let me tell you, that no dye lot thing, it was a totally different color. Totally different color. I mean, they were both light blue, but they were not the same light blue. Yeah. So, moving on. It's a thing. I'm looking at, for the yarn we're going to talk about today, I'm looking at the cutest little sample, little, I want to say poncho. It's not a poncho. It's a cardigan. It's a hoodie. And then this is the color I knitted in. And the new skeins of it won't even probably show up on camera, but the new skeins of it are just a hair different than what I made it in. And there's textured stitches in here, so it could be the shadows of the texture that are throwing off the color, but I don't think so. I think it's a little different. It happens. It really does. And
dye
it's
lot
not our
is a
fault.
good reason to buy all the yarn that you need.
Yep.
For your project
and
at one time.
Our shop, we have the guarantee of sorts that if it looks like this and you haven't wound it and it looks like we can put it back on our shelves, we will take it back for shop credit. We will probably try to check it over to make sure it's not damaged or it doesn't have bugs in it or something. But we will take it back for shop credit. And for local people, that's easier. For faraway people, if we've sent it to you and you don't need all of it and you'd like the shop credit, it is your expense to send it back to us. But when we get it, we will give you shop credit for it. And then to use the shop credit, if you're far away, you just call us. There isn't a way in the online shop to redeem credit or rewards for Dragon Dollars, which counts as credit. But you can call us. So anyway, overbuy and get shop credit for another fun project if you don't use it all, rather than 2 different dye lots that is looking shockingly different.
And we try that when we pack up your yarn, if we're mailing it or if you're buying it in the shop, we try and make sure it's all the same dye lot so that,
And honestly, I gotta say, there are times when we have, our website says we have 12 something in stock, or sometimes even 5. and it won't be the same dye lot. There's no way to guarantee. If a yarn shop has come up with a way to also be able to tell you dye lots and how much they have of each dye lot, that's amazing. We don't have that capability. So if you buy 5 skeins, because we had 10 in stock, and we don't have 5 of the same dye lot, we will contact you. And we will say, here are your options. We'll say, okay, to the naked eye, we can't see any difference. We think you'll be okay, but we understand if you don't want this because it's not all the same dye lot. And we'll discuss options like, if we can reorder it, we will. And do you mind waiting? And if we can't reorder it, what our options are. If you're okay because we can see that to our inspection, it looks like there's not a whole lot of difference. Would you be okay knowing they're different dye lots? We give you options.
We generally even take them outside to where there's no filters on the window, and we can,
we can really assess. But yeah, that's a little bit behind the scenes for us and what we do here. So there are some bigger stores that might just throw things in a bag and send them to you and not check the dye lots. There also are some hand dyes that even if they're all the same dye lot, they may not look the same, or one skein might be darker than another. We don't have control over that.
Fiber Space is one of those that, like, people sometimes check dye lots on Fiber Space, but there can be a wide range in the Fiber Space.
If you buy Fiber Space from us and we have way more than what you're buying, we will try to pick ones that, again, to the naked eye, seem to be matching. Now, when they're in the twists and you untwist them, you might see different stuff in the middle that we didn't catch. We're not going to untwist every single one, because then they look a little foobar when we twist them back up. So, Malabrigo, which is a yarn we don't carry, but it's a lovely yarn. Sometimes that one, the same dye lot, will have very different tones skein to skein. I don't even know if they list dye lots. They probably do.
But I think they do, kind of like Fiber Space, where, hey, they were all dyed at this time.
But we've had people bring in like dark blue and again, same dye lot, or bought, purchase at the same time, and some are purplier and some are red. Some are warmer, some are cooler, and it gets rough. But so this one, the yarn we're advertising today for 15% off with the code product space of space, the space week, product of the week with spaces between words. 15% off in the online shop or here at the shop through next Tuesday night. And since I don't have my phone, I don't know what day that is, but today's March 1st, so it's probably like March 6th, right? Something like that. Maybe 7th. Yeah. So what we're showing you today is something that's not a hand dye. It is machine dyed, and so there's some solid consistency to the colors. Again, different dye lots might be different, and we will contact you if that's the case. Like this one, we might have different dye lots, and they might look almost identical because this is the natural color. Or we might see, I think, different dye lots of this have been warmer or cooler, and we have figured that out with the customer. So, what are we doing today, Liz?
Today, so it feels like spring. Winter's coming back.
Fake spring.
Yes. So we decided to do a heavyweight cotton, or our bulky weight cotton. It's not,
fake cotton. Okay, it's not fake. It's real cotton, but it's the thickest we have in the shop. It's the thickest we
have in the shop. Yeah.
And so I would say it's good for baby stuff and comfy, heavier stuff. It's not necessarily a lightweight, I'm going to go out in the middle of summer cotton, but it breathes better.
We've had lots of discussions about this in the shop and VSC last week about, well, I'll just make it out of cotton because it'll be more summer weight. The thicker it is, the less summer weight it's going to feel.
Oh, like last the last Dear Becky and Lizzie we talked about. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but look at this. That's again the cute little.
It's adorable.
Got hoodie. It's got all these textures. It was written for wool, but I think it looks lovely in cotton. And this is the Magnus. I just wanted to make sure I was saying it right. And it was Magnus sweater. I'll try to remember to put the link in the description. And it has sizes from like baby. This might have been the baby size, or like the slightly over baby size, like maybe 1-year-old size, up to like 8 years old. And so you can make it for young children, and it has all different texture stitches in it. I made it, I think, with one closure. You might be able to make it with more buttons, that kind of thing. But
how many bowls did it take you to make that?
According to the label, which I did not write, 2 skeins to make this size. And again, I can't remember what size it was. It was one of the smaller sizes, though. If not the smallest, probably the second smallest size, because I was just trying to pound out a sample. But 2 skeins of the bud made this. So, what is this bud thing we're talking about, Liz?
It is 100% organic Peruvian cotton. You get 109 yards per 100 grams. It's machine wash, lay flat to dry. Bulky, number 5. They're recommending a 9 to an 11 needle.
This was knit on a 10,
or
6 millimeter needle.
A K to an M hook.
Mm-hmm.
And we are retailing it for $13.50.
And it's like, let me show you the texture. Woo. It's a textured cotton. And when I opened the shop, so this is by Juniper Moon Farms. When I opened the shop 5.5 years ago, the textured cotton like this was from Classic Elite Yarns. Like, almost everybody had it. And then Classic Elite went out of business. And some other companies had already been making their own version of it. And it's got like one floofy ply and one tighter ply. And they're wound around each other to give you kind of this bubbly texture. But it's a consistent bubbly texture. So
it won't necessarily show up when you knit with it.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to be like, this is bubbly when you knit with it. Like, the sections, it's funny because there's so much texture in the Magnus, it's kind of hard to show you a spot that doesn't have stitch texture to show you how smoothly it knits up.
Well, like right in here.
Yeah, but there's still purl stitches.
Well, yes, there's still purl stitches, but, you know.
Okay, so let me show you.
Our viewers should be able to.
But with it. Now, so you can see the bumps in this section are from purl stitches, not from bumps in the yarn texture. But it makes it a little softer and squishier than cottons that are a whole bunch of plies that are all twisted up. That's what... Talking too fast. That's what this stuff is. The Nifty cotton has a much smoother but denser texture to it. It's a worsted weight. It's really nice and soft. If you want something on the heavier side that will knit up faster or crochet up faster, but still be soft and lovely. Like, I would say that this is softer than like the Ultra Pima that we have. That is thinner. So, and it has such a lovely color palette too.
I was just thinking we need to knit up the Chevron baby blanket from Espace Tricot that
We really
lots
do.
of people have used.
I need to
with.
start some new projects because it's March now.
It's March.
So maybe I'm going to have to kill a few skeins of this to make the Espace. Like, we've got 2 baby blankets in the shop right now. One is crocheted with a sport weight yarn. One is knit with a DK weight yarn. I think that would be a lovely idea.
Because I want to say it calls for a 10 needle, or it was a 7
It
needle.
was written for worsted weight,
Yeah.
and we will Carolize it.
We just bump it up a needle size or two, and
I think this on a 9 or a 10 at least.
I want to say
With the
most of
baby
the
blanket
people
would
that
be
have
lovely.
done the baby blanket have done a 10. So
Bigger needle makes it softer. So, and if this says to use a 9 to an 11, I'm almost tempted to go up to like a 10.5 or
Yeah.
an 11.
Yeah.
But, so we'll try to put the Chevron baby blanket. There's also one by Tin Can Knits, but I think it's written for, that's called Bounce. But I think the Chevron baby blanket, it's easier. Bounce has a little more feather and fan in the middle of some garter, I think. But anyway, so it's 109 yards. And so for my head math, I usually just round down to 100 yards to make sure I have enough. Unless you're going over like 10 skeins, when then we hit like 1100, like, or almost 1100. I find for my head math, if I'm not using my phone and my calculator, I'm like 100 yards per, which might seem really short for a bulky weight yarn. Cotton, you don't get as much yardage out of the same thickness of yarn as you do with wool. It's heavier. Even when it's constructed differently and feels softer, it is a heavier, like on the scale, physically, not thickness, but on the scale physically, it is a heavier yarn, heavier fiber than wool. So whereas something just as thick, if not thicker in wool, you'd get like 140 yards out of it for this amount, for this grammage, 100 grams. You're only going to get 109 from this. So use that as your head math when you're figuring out how much you need for a project. But this will just be lovely and soft and warm and a little heavy. Like the Cumulus that we have that's the chainette will be soft and warm and light because it's chainette. This is still a twist of some kind, but it's so pretty.
We have like beautiful colors. Like,
wait, look at that, so pretty. Oh my gosh, I'm already seeing the Chevron baby blanket in progress, right? But I don't want to kill too much of our inventory, so you guys need to buy it before I start my blanket. So yes, you said you were retailing it for $13.50.
Yep.
Let's go over the colors now. I think we brought in some new colors recently, and we haven't even shown them off on camera. I put them on Instagram a long time ago. We have at least one kind of light tealy, aqua-y color that we are out of right now that I don't necessarily foresee us bringing in this week. But everything else has some pretty decent stock on it. So we don't have the whole palette of colors that Bud is available in because it's not a million, I exaggerate. But we have 14 colors in stock.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good. So anyway, a lot of so's in there.
So we have Grello.
That's my favorite color. Oh my gosh.
It's called Goldenrod, color 104.
It's like a chartreusey grello. So Juniper Moon, their goldenrods tend to be grellos rather than like a goldeny, right? So it's like an olive oil chartreusey. I hesitate to say it's classic, but it's been in style. It's been a trend for a very long time. The color that I keep holding up is called Teal Tulip. It's a really good tealy turquoise, I think. So,
one of my other favorites is color 109, Siberian Squill. It's like a steel blue.
It's a steel blue. Siberian Squill. It's a steel... And look how it looks. Like, almost everything goes with the grello. How weird is that? Like, it's a weird color. And yet, everything goes with it. Oh my gosh. It's so good. All right. I'm going to go for some of the more luscious colors here. So, Smoke Bush. This is one of our new colors. This one is called Smoke Bush, which is... I don't even know where it comes from, the name. But it's a deep purple. Like, not deep. It's like... aubergine comes to mind. Kind of, what is it? It's not quite eggplant, right?
It's a lighter eggplant.
Light eggplant, aubergine. It's a lovely jewelly purple, but it's not quite a deep royal purple or anything like that. It's got some warmth to it. So
this is a deep royal purple.
Oh, I forgot we had that.
This is color 111, and it's lupine. And here, we'll hold them.
So the Smoke Bush is much more of a warmer purple, whereas the lupine is a deeper, cooler purple, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But so I felt like we needed to have both, so we have them.
It goes really well.
Oh my god, there's so many. Like even this, like look that.
Yeah.
That goes. Like I will pare it down to a small number of colors, but you know me. The Espace Tricot blanket, it works well with like a nice rainbow assortment of colors.
We have one more blue and one more purple.
Why don't we just get them done?
Get them done.
Go ahead.
This one is Forget Me Not, color 108, and it's that light blue.
It's a light kind of almost sky blue. Nice. Not quite sky. It's not quite baby blue. It's a little darker than that, but it's definitely a light blue. We like that not being too light. Yeah. So, and I think they've come out with some new like baby blue and pink that we haven't brought in. We've kept ones that aren't super light. So if someone wants the super light, like we might bring that in the future. But I don't know. This is called Canterbury Bells. It's really a nice lavender, I think. It's I feel like the camera is capturing all of these a little warmer than they are, and I don't know if I'm gonna have time to color edit, but hopefully my pictures online are pretty decent. But this is a nice light purple. To keep with these lighter colors for a little bit, the Camellia is our light pink. It's almost a bubblegum pink, but not quite that bright. It's between a baby pink and a bubblegum pink. It's like, I guess, would this be a carnation pink?
Almost a carnation.
I'm still working on my color
carnation
palette
and bubblegum, like mixed.
Yeah, right. So, but again, they're all solid colors. There's no like heathery anything going on with these, which I think for the cotton works really well. So that is our pink.
This is another light one. It is 116 Moonflower, and it is like silver and blue and silver.
It's like a silvery blue gray. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I'm really glad we brought it in because the other gray that we have is this one. Grab that one for a second. This is Silver Sage, and this is like a middle gray. That is definitely a light blue gray, right? It's a lot whiter. It's a lot cooler. This is like a warm mid-tone gray. It's almost like a stone gray, you know. And this used to be the only gray we had. And I do like it because it's not quite charcoal and it's not quite super light gray. It's right in the middle. So I like that one a lot.
The other neutral we have is Candy Tuft.
That's our cream.
It's natural.
Yeah. And that one I think we've had trouble keeping in stock, but I think we have a decent amount right now. Like dye lots again, I don't know. But so some of the other bright colors which are fun. Lion's Tail. When I first brought these in, I tried to at least have like a rainbow assortment, and then we've added to it since. Lion's Tail is a really good orange.
It's like a Tigger orange,
yeah,
or Calvin and Hobbes orange.
Yeah, a Hobbes orange, right? It's right in the middle. It's almost a pumpkin-y orange, but it's not super dark. It's definitely vivid though, which I think is really great.
I'm looking at all the colors.
Aren't they
going,
pretty?
Oh my gosh, you could do one stripe of each color and,
Boop.
you know.
But I don't want to kill that many skeins. If you want to kill that many skeins, that's awesome.
I have poinsettia.
However, people pronounce it different ways.
It's red.
That's a nice ruby red,
yeah.
Right? Like, it's not super purpley. It's like, it's kind of orangey, purple. Like, it's right in the middle. It's red.
It's red.
It's a good, solid red. You gotta love that. So let's go from red to green. This is one of our new colors. So I think it was like the warmer purple. This one and the one Liz is about to hold up are some of our new additions. There's other new colors, but these I was like, ooh, rich colors in addition to some of our lighter colors. This is aloe vera. And it is, I mean, I think about an aloe vera plant when I see this. It's it's almost like a Kelly green.
Almost Christmas.
Almost Christmas. It's some versions of Christmas, right? It's not quite a Christmas green, but it's really close. It's got a little bit of a lighter, warmer flair to it. It is pretty as well. So.
The last one I have is Japanese maple, and it's a dark rose.
We've made such a wall here. I'm like, hold it up. It's a dark rosy pink. Like it's kind of a pink. It's almost a magenta, but it's softer and, you know, not quite as like magenta.
Yeah.
It's not red. You can see it right next to the red. It's not really red. I almost like these colors together.
Oh yeah.
Like there's so many options. It's for people who think like red might be a little bit like in your face, you know, but also think like the pink might be a little in your face. It's like got this antique kind of rosy pink thing going, deep rosy pink thing going for it. So it's like this other Juniper Moon farm from La Pampa. It's a little darker though than my scarf that I made out of a different yarn. So this is the only yarn we have on sale this week. We'll see if any other sales or weirdness and funness things happen. But you can't combine codes. So save on this stuff this week. I will try to start a blanket. Oh my gosh. Now that I'm through Finish It or Frog It, I just will have to start like a billion projects. I keep finding projects, and Liz keeps saying, I knew you had more than 60 projects on needles at the beginning of February. And I was like, did I really? Maybe. So why not start some more?
I'm holding steady at 178.
I will never beat Liz, and that's okay. I really want to get my number way down. And I'm hoping to try to finish one or two things a month, since I finished so many in-progress things. But a lot of them were, like, close to being done. Or feasible to get there. So we'll see.
I could be at 176, but I have like 50 projects at home that I want to start. So
You do keep starting more than I did last month. So
I squirrel so much. And you can tell which ones I want to do because I actually finished them.
Anyway, I left some things on needles that I don't necessarily want to finish, but it would be good for the shop if I did. So we'll see. Okay. We need to go open the shop.
Yep.
And make sure that all these colors are online.
Yep.
And if you go to the online shop site and you see there's one more color there, ooh, we're out of it. I don't know when we're getting it back in, but that's okay. Why does this say spun with GOTS? I wonder what that stands for.
I don't know. That's new.
But it's on all of them. Oh, no, it's not on all of them. Ooh. We'll have to figure that out and get back to you. The new colors say spun with I think, wouldn't you take that to mean GOTS?
Yeah.
Like it's an acronym.
Oh.
What?
Well, they also have a new stamp on the side. It's...
Ecotex, Confidence in Textiles.
Yeah. That's new. Because it's not on the old ones.
It's Oecotex Standard, so I don't know what the G is, but... Tested for harmful substances. Oecotex.com. We'll see if we can figure out what that is. I might be able to find out on my supplier's website. I think it just means, like, because it's organic and everything else, I think it's an extra level of this stuff is special and yummy and awesome. Yeah. And they made sure it was it was made in some kind of a good way. If I figure it out, I'll tell you. All right. We're going to go. Tomorrow is Dear Becky and Lizzie, so if you have anything you want us to ponder upon, and we can ponder upon whatever we want if no one gives us anything, you're going to email
Liz at sundragonartandfiber.com.
I could talk about the new make-along coming up. I still had a few, like, either things I bound off or other, like, I finished something late last night. I might show y'all tomorrow. We'll see. If not, then on Tuesday. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.